Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you all? I hope you all are fine with the grace of Almighty Allah. Today, packet tracer activity 14.3.5 basic router configuration. And it is just a review. In this activity, this is just a review. So routing table is given. So now let's start the practical. So the main objective of this activity is configure devices and verify the connectivity. Assign the static IPv4, IPv6 addresses to the PC interfaces. Configure the basic router setting. Configure the router for SSH. Verify network connectivity. In part 2, we will display some routing and the router information. Retrieve hardware and software information from the router. Interpret the startup configuration. Interpret the routing table and verify the status of the interfaces. So let me read the background scenario and we can then go to the part 1 and part 2 and we will start our practical then. This activity requires you to configure the router 2. Okay, this is our router 2. So we need to configure router 2 using a setting from the addressing table and the specifications listed. The router 1 and the devices connected to it have been configured. It is comprehensive review of previously covered iOS router command. In part 1, you will complete the basic configuration and interface setting on the router. In part 2, you will use SSH to connect to the router remotely and utilize the iOS command to retrieve information from the devices to answer the questions about the router. For review purpose, this lab provides the command necessary for the specific router configuration. Now we can see here, this is the part 1. In the part 1, configure the PC interfaces. So configure the IPv4, IPv6 addresses on PC3 as listed in the addressing table. Okay, so PC3. So this is the PC3. We will go to the PC3. This is the IP addressing, and now go to the PC3 and we will assign the IP based on addressing table. So let me arrange. Okay, so this is the one. Let me make it on the top. PC3 is here. Now go to the desktop. How to assign the IP addresses here. See here. So 10.0.4.10. So we will assign 10.0.4.10. Okay, so this is the IP address here. If you will see, this is 10.0.4.10. This is /24. So what will be the subnet mask? Can you tell me? 255.255.0. It is because it is /24. Okay, and the subnet mask, we can see what should be the default gateway. So this is a default gateway is 10.0.2.1. so the default gateway is 4.1. okay, so this is the default gateway 4.1. and DNS, yes, we don't need to configure the DNS. Okay, and we also need to configure the IPv6 addresses for PC3. So this is the IPv6 addresses. If you will see, just copy this one, okay, and paste it here in IPv6. okay, so here it should be 64. okay, and the link local address is FE80. so this should be the link local address. Wait, again, .10/64 FE80 :2:A. So if you will see FE80 double colon, so it should be double colon here and 2. So this is the one. This is our link local address. Now this is done, and now PC3 and PC4. okay, so PC3 and PC4. So go to the PC4 here again. This is PC4. Let me copy this IP and so 10.0.5.10 255.255.255.0 and the default gateway is 10.5.1. See, this is our default gateway and IPv6 address. Let me copy and we can paste it here, and this is 64 and F80. Okay, this is our link local address. So done. You can see completion percentage is 19%. Now go to the next step now. So now step number 2. So we have done A and B in step step number 1, part A and B has been done, and step 2, configure the router. On the router 2, okay, open the terminal, move to the privilege exit mode and enter the configuration mode, assign a device name. So where we are now, router 2, go to the router 2, go to the CLI, enable configure terminal, the first step, assign the device name of router 2 to the router. Okay, so device name, how we can assign the device name of router 2? Yes, can you tell me? Yes, host name. So what is the host name? Router 2. Okay, so this is the host name. Now go to the step D. Now configure this password C1 SCO1234 as an encrypted privilege exit mode password. Can you tell me the command? What is the command? Privilege exit command to enable this encrypted privilege exit mode password. Yes, enable. But we cannot use a password here. It should be encrypted. So if it is encrypted, just use secret. Okay, and I will just copy this one, because just copy this and paste it here. So press enter. See, now enable secret. This is the password. So we have configured this password. Set the domain name of the router to CCNA. So this is the domain name. Okay, so we will set the domain name of this router. Okay, IP domain, DOMAIN domain name, IP domain name, and paste here in the lab.com. Okay, and then disable the DNS lookup to prevent the router from attempting to translate the incorrect interlink command as though they were host name. Okay, now we need to type this on, no IP domain lookup. Okay, no IP domain lookup. Okay, now the second step is encrypt the plain text password. So we need to encrypt all the password. Okay, how to encrypt the all password, plain text password? Can you tell me? Yes, please. Any one of you? Can you write in the comments below? Yes, service password encryption, service password encryption, enter. So now it will encrypt all the password. Okay, all plain text password. Okay, after that, configure the username. Now we are going to configure the SSH. Before that, we should have a username and we should have the password. Okay, so how we can configure the SSH, username and password? So first we need to create a username. So this is my username, and password is, so this is the password, SSH password. Okay, just I'm going to copy and paste username and password. Now the second step, I need to generate the crypto key. Okay, the crypto key should be 1024-bit module. Okay, because I'm going to configure the SSH. So if you are going to configure the SSH, first of all you have to configure the username and password. Then you need to type crypto key generate RSA. Okay, now it is going to ask how many bits in this module. So number of bits should be 1024. Higher the number of bit is more secure, but it will take more calculation time. Okay, after that, because there is no console password, if you don't have the console password, you cannot remotely log in. So to have a SSH remotely access, so you should first configure the console password. Okay, now assign a Cisco as a console password and configure session to disconnect after 6 minutes of inactivity. Okay, now we will configure the console password, and you will see line console 0, and the password is Cisco, and exit timeout. We can say exit timeout, because after 6 minutes of disconnectivity, so after 6 minutes of inactivity, it should be disconnected. Okay, exit timeout 6. Okay, exit timeout is 6. And to prevent the console messages from interrupting, command use logging synchronization. Such type of messages we need to, because sometimes it will interrupt now, so we need to use this command logging synchronization to avoid such type of uninterrupted messages. Okay, so we will use this command logging synchronization. Okay, logging synchronization, done. And login, no need to write the login local because this is the console password. Okay, now the next step is, now we need to assign a Cisco as a VTY password, virtual terminal line password, and configure the VTY line to accept the SSH connection only. Configure session to disconnect after 6 minutes of inactivity and enable the login using a local database. Now we are going to enable the virtual terminal lines. Okay, line VTY, line, exit, line VTY 024. Okay, then it should password Cisco. Okay, it should accept only the Cisco password. And then we need to write exit timeout. Exit timeout. Exit timeout is 6. Exit timeout is 6. Transport input. Transport input. So it should only accept SSH. Okay, so you need to type SSH. It should only accept SSH connection. Okay, so, and login local database, using a local database, login local, done. This is done. And in the next step, create a banner that warns anyone accessing the device that unauthorized access is prohibited. So how we can add the banner message? So banner MOTD. Okay, so banner message, what should be the banner message here? Unauthorized access is prohibited. We can simply say unauthorized access is prohibited. Sorry, unauthorized access is prohibited. Just close, done. Okay, the banner message has been configured. And next step is enable IPv6 routing. So how to enable the IPv6 routing? Can you tell me, please? Can you write in the comments below? How to? Please pause the video and write the comments. So how to enable the IPv6 routing? Okay, IPv6 routing, IPv6 unicast routing. Okay, IPv6 unicast routing. So if you write this command, it will enable IPv6 routing in your router. So now you can configure the IPv6 routing. Okay, configure all 4 interfaces on the router with IPv6 addresses, information from the addressing table above, and configure all 4 interfaces with a description. Activate all 4 interfaces and save the running configuration. Okay, now we will go to the interfaces here or to the router, and you will see how we can do it. Okay, so this is our router 2 gigabit 0001 serial 01, and all these we need to assign IPv6 addresses. Okay, now interface gigabit 0/0/0/0/0/0. Okay, IPv. Sorry, first we need to write the description. Okay, what should be the description? Description means it is connected with, so this one is gigabit 0/0/0, so it is connected with our switch 3. Okay, so you can just write switch 3. Okay, so description, connection with switch 3. Okay, just you can write anything because it is not written, so you can write any description. Then IP4 address, IP address. So what is the IP address? 10.0.4.1. Okay, this is the IP address, and subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Okay, so this is the IP address. Now write no shut down. Okay, we need to also enable this one. Then IPv6 address, so IPv6, let me make a little bit big so it can be, you can see IPv6 address. So this is the IPv6 address of this interface. Okay, this is IPv6 address. One minute, let me copy all. This is IPv6 address, paste. This is your IPv6 address. Okay, just type this one. 1 minute. So IPv6 address here, 64. I think there is a, no, it's okay. IPv6 address. So IPv6 address is, this is again your link local address. Just copy and paste IPv6 address, paste and write link local. Okay, done. So you have assigned IPv6 address and IPv4 addresses. Okay, now this is gigabit 00. Now go to the gigabit 01, exit, interface gigabit 0/0/1. Okay, IP address. First IPv4 address we can assign. So this is your IPv4 address. Copy this one and paste, and subnet mask 255.255.255.0. okay, then no shutdown, and IPv6 address. So what is the IPv6 address? This is the IPv6 address. Wait. So here just type this IPv6 address and remove the spaces. IPv6 address. Okay, if you will just forget ADD address. Okay, done. Then again IPv6 address, link local address. Okay, and paste here. This is link local, done. Then go to the serial interface, serial 010. Okay, now exit, interface serial 010, interface 010, IPv4, IP address, don't write IPv4, IP address, and this is IP address. Just copy this one and paste it here. So here paste. What happened? IP address, paste here. Just you can also type IP address 255.255.255.0. okay, so 0, enter. Okay, no shut, done. And IPv6 address, let me copy also IPv6 address. Okay, IPv6 address, paste here, done. Again you need to remove the spaces. Okay, IPv6 address, copy, paste, link local. Okay, this is link local address, done. So you have done. Now serial 010. Okay, so exit, interface serial 010. So this is 011. So this is the interface 011. Okay, enter IP address. So what is the IP address? This is the IP address. Let me copy and paste here. And subnet mask is, what is the subnet mask? Can you tell me? It is /30. Any one of you, can you tell me what is the subnet mask? Yes, please. Any one of you, pause this video, write in the comments below what is the subnet mask if it is /30. Okay, so .255, this is the 225. And now what should be the subnet mask? 255.255.255. What should be 252? Okay, it is /30, so subnet mask must be 252. Okay, done. Now IPv6 address. Before going for the IPv6 address, let me enable no shutdown. IPv6 address, and this is your IPv6 address. Remove the spaces if there, no space, done. IPv6 address, link local address. This is your link local address. Okay, just type here link local address and link local. Okay, done. So you have assigned IPv4 and IPv6 addresses to the interfaces. Now save the running configuration to the startup configuration. Okay, now we need to save this configuration in the startup configuration. So how you can, what is the command? Okay, just go here. So just type copy running config to startup config. Okay, so now this configuration file has been saved in yours as a startup configuration. Okay, now the next step is what you need to do. Use a command line at PC3 to ping IPv4, IPv6 addresses for PC4. Okay, now we will see, can we ping from PC3 to PC4? So this is PC3 to PC4. So this is PC4. Go there. Let me take this IP and ping from PC3 to PC4. Just go to the command prompt, write ping IP address of PC4, type IP address of PC4. Now it will take some little bit time, and after that you will see it will able to ping. Request timeout. You can see now it is able to ping. So now the answer, were the ping successful? Yes, the ping is successful. Yes, the ping is successful. Okay, from the CLI of router to ping serial interface, serial address of the router 1. So this is router 1 serial IP 10.0.3.1. Let me copy from the router 2. Okay, we will go to the router 2 and we just, okay, so PC3 IP4 and IPv6 address. Let me take the IPv6 address. Let me check whether I will able to ping the IP6 address from router, sorry, from PC3. Just write ping and IPv6 address here 10.
So now I was not able to configure the default gateway. Now I have configured the default gateway. If you will see, now I try to ping from PC3 to PC4. So ping 5.10. This is my IP address. You can see I have successfully pinged. So were the ping successful? Yes, the PC is using a default gateway router to forward the traffic, and now I'm able to ping. Now we can go to the next step here and we will see what is the next step. And in the next step here, PC3 to PC4, yes, I have successfully pinged. Now from the now we can go to the from the CLI of router 2 ping serial 011 address of router 1 for both IPv4 and IPv6 addresses assigned to serial 111. Let me check, and we can just ping from the router 2 CLI command of router 2. Okay, I have copied the IP address of the serial interface of the other router, paste here 10.0.3.1, successfully ping. Now we can go and take the IPv6 address of router 1 serial interface. This is the serial interface of the router 1. Now again ping IPv6 address of router 1, successfully ping. So were the ping successful? Yes, the ping is successful. So it is connected. Now we can go to the next step. From the command line of PC3 ping ISP address. ISP address, just copy this one and we will ping from PC3 and PC3 ping, and here it is successful. Okay, this one is successful. Okay, that one is successful ISP address. Now from PC3 attempt to ping the address of ISP 64.100.1.1 and try again from router 2 and we will see it will be able to ping. No, I am not able to ping. So what is the reason? Because no routing has not been configured on the router, so only local connected networks are accessible. No default route is set on the router 2. So this is the reason I was not able to ping to the ISP, because there is no routing and no routing has been configured. Okay, so now we can go to the next step and we will see now from the command line of PC3, open SSH session to router 2 gigabit, and we try to SSH from PC3, and we will see whether we are able to ping to, sorry, we are able to remotely access to the router. Now you can see here. Now I just copy SSH minus L, username SSH admin, and the IP address 10.0.4.1. okay, now you can see I am able to remotely access SSH minus L admin, and the password is, let me check the password here. So this is the password 55H admin pipe sign N. So let me copy, because otherwise if you will not correctly type, it will not allow you to let into the router. Now enter, you can see router 2. So enable, then we can see here, and here what is the enable password. Enable password is Cisco, and again we can see I entered the password, everything. Now we can go to the next step. So what is the next step here? Show version. Okay, show version, and show version. Next step is show version, and we will see here what is the iOS of, what is the iOS, what is the iOS is used, system image file is used, especially in this router. We can see what is the name of the iOS image that the router is running. This is the question. We can see the iOS of this router. Okay, now up little bit, and now here if you will see a boot flash system image file, boot flash ISR 4300 universal K9 03.1605 S135. So this is the image file. This is the image, iOS image that the router is running. This is the image, the iOS image that the router is running. Now we can see here how much flash memory does the router have. Now we can go to the next. How much non-volatile random access memory does the router have? So we can go and find out this one. See here, non-volatile memory is 32768 kilobyte of non-volatile configurable configuration memory. You can see. Now what is the next step? Now next step is how much flash memory does the router have. So the flash memory is 3223551K kilobyte of flash memory is there. So how much? 322. So this is the copy and paste this one. Okay, so by this way you can find how much flash memory, how much non-volatile access memory, and VRAM is there. So sometime you need to check all this information. Okay, now so now the B part is show command. If you will see here, the show command, and the show command is basically command often provide a multiple screen of the output. Filtering the output allow a user to display a certain section of the output. To enable the filtering command, enter a pipe character after the show command followed by the filtering parameter and filtering expression. You can match the output to the filtering statement by using include keyword. Okay, display all the line from the output that contain the filtration expression. Filter the show version command using show version include register to answer the following question. Okay, so show version, if we will write this show version include the pipe sign include register, and this is the command. It will help us to filter the only. So what is the boot process it is used. So here, sorry, there is a mistake. So we need to write show version pipe sign include register, not registration. So again there is a mistake. So we need to write show version include register. So right here, show version include register. You can see here. So what is the boot process for the router on the next reload? So 0x210 and there is two type of boot process. Okay, so the boot process of the router, 0x21 is the normal boot process, and 0x2142, if the value is 0x2142, so router will bypass the startup configuration. Okay, so please try to remember these two things. 0x2110 is a normal boot up process, and 0x2142 the router that will bypass the startup configuration. Please keep it in your mind, both those things. Okay, so now we can go to the next here, and the next one is and so the next one is show running config command. Okay, show running config include password. So we are interested only in the password. We want to just see in our running configuration only the password. Okay, if we don't want to only see the password in our running configuration, just type show running config include password. It will only show you the password whatsoever password you have configured in your router. Okay, so now how are the password presented in the output? Passwords are encrypted due to the service password encryption command. Okay, so we write this service password encryption command. Because of that one, all the passwords are encrypted. Okay, so because here we were interested only in the password, we don't want to see all the running configuration, we only want to see the passwords which we have configured. Okay, service password encryption encrypt all the passwords. Okay, because of that one it is encrypted. Now we are in here, show vty lines. Okay, so show running config begin vty command. So if you will type use the show running config begin vty command, so it will show you what is the result of using this command. Yes, a user receive a running configuration. Okay, a running configuration only, it will vty line. Okay, the terminal line, so don't try, only show you the vty configuration, running configuration. Okay, and we also try another one, show running config slash section vty. Some of the packet tracer version is not supporting this section filtering command. We try in our router, we can see here whether it is going to, you can see now show running config section vty, it is working, and it show the same same configuration as we have seen in the vty begin vty. Okay, so now display the routing table on the router. Now we will go to the next step, step number 4. Step number 4 is display the routing table on the router. Show IP route command on the router to answer the following question. What code is used in the routing table to indicate a directly connected network? So here let me write show IP route. Okay, if I will write show IP route, you will see here C and L, C and L, two letters. So you will see two letters. Okay, C designate directly connected subnet, and L designate local interfaces. You can see both are correct if you will see here. So C designate the directly connected, L designate the local interfaces. Okay, local interfaces addresses. So now we can go to the next command. Okay, so what command change the status of the gigabit ethernet port from the administratively down to up? So if you will just write show IP interface brief, you will simply, you can see no shutdown command, definitely it will display the interface, and it will up the gigabit port if it is administratively down. Okay, just if you will type this command show IP interface brief, and same way you can see, and if anything is administratively down, so you can just write no shutdown, it will be up. So now we can go to the next, show IP interface brief, include exclude unassigned addresses. So because it will just exclude the unassigned interface addresses, because before, if you will see, the unassigned addresses, all the unassigned interface also display, but if you write exclude, so this unassigned addresses will be excluded, because it is going to filter the unassigned addresses, and it will only show the port where you assign the IP addresses. Okay, so now unassigned addresses are going to be excluded. Unassigned, exclude space unassigned addresses. Okay, now it's going to be excluded. So you can see here, and I will just show you the now we can go to the next step. So the next step is show IPv6 interface brief. So what is the meaning of the up part of the output? If you will see up, so the up status reflect the layer 1 and layer 2 status of the interfaces, and does not rely on the layer 3 for this status, if you will see. So that's all for today, and you see we have completed our activity, all the part, and up is there. So this up is mean layer 1 and layer 2 status. Okay, now we have finished our activity. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to Heather Tech.